There's nothing to get in this life. There's really nothing to get in this life. Either you lived this life in a profound and intense manner, or you did not. What will you get in the end? Huh? If somebody dies in the agricultural college, do they bury them or fire them? How is it? What's the tradition? Burying is good for agriculture because human beings make good manure. So in the end, what will happen to you and me? They will either bury us or burn us. That's all will happen in the end. You think something else, they'll give you a prize? Nothing will happen in the end. Only thing is the process of life. How wonderfully did you live? That's all there is. So if you are doing something really wonderful, do you want to prepone it or postpone it? Huh? Prepone only. So you must find what is it that you really want to do. If you find that one thing, you will always prepone everything, not postpone. As a generation, if you create a huge amount of positives, negative will become small. If you create huge amount of negatives, they will become big and positive will become small. This is all life is. There has never been a point, any time, and there never will be, where everything is perfect, okay? There's no such thing. Because life is a possibility. Because it's a possibility, it cannot be perfect. Doesn't matter what we do, there's still something more to do, always. That is why it's an endless possibility. Striving does not mean I want to be a good man, I want to be a good man. See, being morally good is only good for the society, not good for the human being. Yes? If you're morally correct, it's good for people around you because you're contained, but it's not good for this life. So this life needs a little different kind of nurture. In that context, how many people in this world are going to strive before you and me fall dead? How many people will be set this seed that they will be striving to be a better life than the way they are right now? A little higher expression of life. This is all your focus should be. Time to understand all the problems of individual nature are generated from within. And we don't have to solve problems that we create, we just have to dissolve. No? Problems that you create, you don't have to solve. If there is a problem in the situation, yes, we have to solve. But you have a problem within you, solution is not what you need, solution is madness. Solution means, for an illusion, you're creating an illusory solution, something that you make up. For that, you create one more solution that you made up once again. No, you just have to turn off the problems. You're going through a certain drama, only thing is you're a lousy director. That's all there is. Instead of improving your direction, now you're trying to find a solution for a situation in a drama. It's like people watch a cinema and come home and they have big arguments about what happened there. So, the thoughts and emotions that you create, you don't have to find any solution for it. If you just turn it off, it's gone. If you find solution, you moving towards insanity. Because you create a ghost and you create a ghost buster. The ghost that you create, you must learn to play with them. Hello? I'm saying if nobody willing to play with you, you have to play with somebody, right? So the ghosts you create, if you like them, you play with them. If you don't like them, turn them off. But Sadhguru, they keep coming. You don't play. Don't like to play with them, don't play. They come and go. Never it ever happened that one thought remained for more than a moment, isn't it? It comes and goes, comes and goes. Let it come and go. If you try to find a solution for that, you will head towards insanity. So this has been a problem everywhere, that we try to transplant what is happening in one place simply as it is in another place. Not just geographically and culturally, even from individual to individual. That what worked for one person, we try to make it work for another person and destroy that person completely. Unfortunately, this is labeled as education, mass-producing people. Though we are a mass of people on this planet, a huge number, over 7 billion people, still you were produced individually, not mass-produced, are you? Right from my childhood, I've been noticing this, that most adults want to teach something when they see children. All those damn things which have not worked in their life. This is one vow you have to take with me, that is, from this moment onwards in your life, you will not pass on anything that has not worked for you to anybody else. Hello? Even if you cannot pass on the best things to other people, at least what has not worked for you, you don't give it to anybody. Will you do this? Does anger work for you? So don't give it to anybody. Does misery work for you? Does depression work for you? So, if you are angry, if you're depressed, you're miserable, just shut up, okay? And sit in one place and handle it. People start developing these things for everything. When their logic fails, they will think that, you want to do something, you don't know how to do it. You're not sure whether to do it or not do it. Then the simple solution they're taking is, okay, this finger is this finger is this, yes, no. Give it to the child, if he holds this, yes, if he holds this, no. This is not intuition. Now, this is just that your logic has become, incapable, it's collapsed, unable to come to your logical decision. So, you are succumbing to this simple way. If some child holds your hand like this or like this, yes or no. Anyway, when there are two options, 50% of the time you could be right. Yes? Being 50% of the time right is not good enough, isn't it? Yes? Isn't it so? I was, some time ago I was visiting a homeopathic doctor. There in his clinic they had put up an ad. Some homeopathic medicine which will work for all kinds of snake bites. You're living in Bombay, probably it's not an issue for you. Where I come from, snakes are everywhere on a daily basis. So I looked at this and then I asked him, how come this medicine you're advertising that it works for all kinds of snake bites? Because if you are not already aware of this, snake bites are fundamentally of two kinds. One type of venom attacks your cardiovascular system, another kind of venom attacks your nervous system. They're two completely different kind of chemicals and it works upon your system in a different way. Generally for both you have different types of antidotes, but for everything this particular medicine is supposed to work, how is that possible? So the doctor said, see in India, 90% of the Indian snakes are non-poisonous. So 90% of the time it works. So, that's not good enough, isn't it? It's the remaining 10% which is crucial, isn't it so? So, intuition, don't get into this thing about you trying to be intuitive. Never try to be intuitive. Logic is dependable, isn't it?
There are moments when there is certain clarity which has no logical explanation. At that time, it's okay, but you never try to be intuitive. If you try to be intuitive, your logical mind will become deceptive and come to all kinds of stupid decisions. You'll get suddenly guidance, voices from the heaven, all kinds of voices people are hearing. Logic is dependable, go by it, at least you won't make a fool of yourself.
One thing that you must do to yourself is, you are absolutely truthful to yourself. If you're also truthful to everybody around you, you will get other kinds of benefits with people. But I will not go that far right now. With yourself, you are 100% truthful. Otherwise, all kinds of tricks keep happening. To be truthful to yourself is not an easy thing because there is lifetimes of habit of simply bullshitting yourself. A guest came to Shankaran Pillai's house. And being a South Indian man, down south, Pillais come from further down south. He was carrying an umbrella, which is common thing. In Kerala and southern Tamil Nadu, to carry an umbrella is a very common thing because rains can be very heavy. Then they walked out, he took the guest out, then it started raining. But Shankaran Pillai did not open the umbrella. The guest said, "Why don't you open the umbrella?" Shankaran Pillai said, "I'm sorry, the umbrella is full of holes." Then the guest asked, "Why did you bring it?" "Well, I never thought it'll rain today." A whole lot of people are like this. They think somebody else has to catch their lice. This will take a long time because someone else catching your lice will take lifetimes. You must catch them. You should not let your chickens pass. To become 100% straight with yourself, it'll take a certain amount of application. But if this one thing you do, asatoma sadgamaya, this piece of life will work for sure, 100%. Then figuring out a few things is very simple. For that I am there. If you just fix this one thing, that you're 100% straight, no any kind of deception. When there's a hole in the umbrella, you know there is a hole in the umbrella. You will never forget that there is a hole in the umbrella, okay? If you are like this, rest of the work becomes very simple and easy.
How to address the larger issues of my life? There are no large issues in your life. What is the large issue that you're talking about? It is just about what job to take, which girl to marry,
that about covers it.
Where to go for vacation, whether to get married or not get married, These are the things, isn't it? These are not large issues, these are little things in your life. Yes, oh, is it just a small thing whom I get married to? I'm not saying it's a small thing. But as an issue, it's a small issue, little issue. As a consequence to your life, yes, it has many things. But this is something that human beings have done for millions of years. We have enough experience on these things, isn't it? We know that whatever job we take, whoever we marry, it is just the way we make out of it. Every experience of life, you can make it an enriching experience. Every experience in your life, you can make a curse out of it. See, there is nothing wrong in your job, whatever job you're doing. There's nothing wrong getting this job, there's nothing wrong in losing this job. There's nothing wrong in getting married, there's nothing wrong in getting divorced. There's nothing wrong in not getting married. There is nothing wrong in anything, there is nothing wrong in this or that. But it is just that you make misery out of it, that's wrong. If you do this, you make misery out of it. If you do that, you make misery out of it. That's what is wrong with you. So you got married, is it wrong? That's not the point. There's nothing wrong with it. You did not get married, is it wrong? No, there's nothing wrong with it, that's wonderful too. You got divorced, is it wrong? No, that's also wonderful. It is just that you make misery out of everything, that's what is wrong. You just address that one issue, everything will be settled.
Spiritual process means to become like a mountain, stable, still. Because it's only when somebody has a very stable base, many things can be done. Exuberance of life is possible only if there is absolute stability. Otherwise, exuberance will lead to madness. Yes. That's why a lot of people who are a little creative, little active, little exuberant, always end up being freaky and nearly insane. Because without stability, you cannot have a dance going. This is why Shiva means stillness, Shiva means dance at the same time. Either you see him sitting absolutely still or you see him in an explosion of dance, because an explosion is possible only when there is a stable base. An explosion which is not destructive is possible only when there is stability. And stability, people try to become stable by controlling and trimming their lives. This is the way your grandmother would tell you how to be stable. Control yourself, then you will be stable. Yes, if you're dead, you will be stable. Very. I promise you that. So normally, people who talk about stability are all constipated existence. You know what's constipation? That means it happens little by little. Their joy, their love, their ecstasy happens little by little, here and there. That's constipation. So, stability is not because you have trimmed your life down or pruned it down to minimal and you're stable. That's of no consequence. Stability because you see everything utterly clearly. That is why when we say Adiyogi, we're talking about stability, at the same time an exuberant dance. This is possible only because he has more than two eyes, not necessarily three, more than two. That means he sees much more than most people ever see. Because he sees much more, able to be stable. Stability it takes to allow exuberance to happen, otherwise you keep curtailing your exuberance because it hurts when it's out of balance. If you're out of balance and you move at a certain speed, you're going to hurt yourself. Whether you're riding a bicycle or you're riding the cosmos, if you're out of balance and you attain speed, you're going to hurt yourself very badly. So balance is very important, and balance that comes out of curtailment is not balance, that's, packaged death. So you must understand this. If everything that you try to do is becoming frictious, friction is happening, obviously you are the sandpaper. You know what's a sandpaper? I'll ask them to provide you a sandpaper, a small piece. Every day whenever you have a friction with somebody, just scrape your skin somewhere. So if you don't cure yourself quickly, you won't have any skin left. When you don't have any skin left, then you will not touch anything. You will not you will not look for any friction. You will walk in… Suppose you had no skin, how would you walk? Even a little feather won't touch you, like that you will walk, isn't it? Because everything hurts now. So if you want that kind of treatment, we can do. Otherwise, first come to your senses. Friction is happening means wherever you go, friction is happening. Obviously it's you. One simple thing you can do to reduce friction is, I've told you many times but you've not done this, is whatever you're saying in a day or in an hour or in a minute, how many words per minute are you uttering? Bring it down to 50%, still do the same work. You will see a whole lot of friction will go down, simply because you're not blabbering. Yes? And we've been trying to train you. Whatever you see, whether you see a man, woman, child, cow, donkey, donkey also, you do. No. How will friction not happen? It will happen. So, only when Sadhguru is here like this, the rest of the time like this, it won't work. Bring this into you, not just as a symbolism, genuinely. So, friction, there are two kinds, one within ourselves. Outside is just an expression and a consequence. So, this whole thing about inner engineering means just this, that when you sit here, you can sit here without any friction. If you can sit here without any friction, outside friction also will go down. But when you meet a sandpaper, there must be some friction. There are sandpapers. Hello? So when you meet a sandpaper, there must be friction. Otherwise how? There will be. So generally we avoid sandpaper if we can, but sometimes we have to work with them. When we have to work with the sandpaper, you need tact. This is something you have to learn, this will not come. This is nothing spiritual about it, this is tact in the society. Sometimes it doesn't work, but it's a question of skill. Some people who are not spiritual in any way, they are very tactful when they meet sandpapers. You will see these kind of agents and others who are working in government offices and in political atmospheres, they are so smooth, it doesn't matter how rough the other person is, these people just… they'll just get their job done and leave. So, working with sandpaper takes a little bit of skill and experience. Nothing spiritual about it, it's a social skill. But generally, in the ashram, there are very few sandpapers. Once in a way, people pop up sand on them, but they drop it, you know. They don't keep it all the time. Sometimes they are like that. They're not like that all the time. So when they are like that, when the porcupine has its thing up, you must just keep away a bit. When it's down, you can talk to it. It doesn't keep it up all the time. It doesn't have the strength to do that. So, your friction, you must understand it's just you. A certain day, a bull and a pheasant were grazing. Bull was chomping the grass, pheasant was picking ticks off the bull partnership. There's a huge tree at the edge of the field. The pheasant very nostalgically looked at the tree and said, "Oh alas, there was a time I could fly to the topmost branch of the tree. Now I do not have enough strength in my wing even to get to the first branch." The bull very nonchalantly said, "That's no issue. Just eat a little bit of my dung every day. Within a fortnight you'll get there. Pheasant said, come on, what kind of rubbish is that? The bull said, really try and see, the whole humanity is on it. So very hesitantly, the pheasant started pecking at the dung, and lo, on the very first day it reached the first branch of the tree. Within a fortnight, it reached the topmost branch of the tree, just beginning to enjoy the scenery. An old farmer was rocking on his rocking chair, saw a fat old pheasant sitting on top of the tree, pulled out his shotgun and shot the bird off the tree. The moral of the story is, many times even bullshit can get you to the top, but it never lets you stay there. If you're postponing something, you're obviously doing something that you don't want to do. If there is something that you really want to do, will you postpone it or prepone it? Hello? Do you see somebody is waiting for someone they badly want to see? Only 10 minutes. In the 10 minutes, they will look at the watch 25 times. Why? They want to prepone it. You're doing something that you don't want to do, so you want to postpone it. I'm asking, why the hell are you doing something that you don't want to do? No, because if I do this, I will get that, I will get that. That's not the point. There's nothing to get in this life. There's really nothing to get in this life. Either you lived this life in a profound and intense manner, or you did not. What will you get in the end? If somebody dies in the agricultural college, do they bury them or fire them? How is it? What's the tradition? Burying is good for agriculture, because human beings make good manure. So in the end, what will happen to you and me? They will either bury us or burn us. That's all will happen in the end. You think something else, they'll give you a prize? Nothing will happen in the end. Only thing is the process of life. How wonderfully did you live? That's all there is. So if you are doing something really wonderful, do you want to prepone it or postpone it? Prepone only. So you must find what is it that you really want to do. If you find that one thing, you will always prepone everything, not postpone. It happened in 1941. This is just when the Nazi movement was building up in Germany and in some parts of Europe. So one day in Austria, a bunch of German soldiers came, broke into the homes, the Jewish family, a rich family, they broke the home and took away the adults, everything was robbed. And these two children, a 12-year-old girl and an 8-year-old boy, were taken away. They were taken to a railway station. This is the month of November end, December kind of time, when it's becoming very cold. So they were kept in the railway station for 3 days because the trains did not come. Boys, little boys being boys, they started playing football. So they were playing football and then suddenly the train came. The train is not a passenger train, it's a cargo train, the goods train. So when the train came, the soldiers came and rushed everybody into the wagons which are there. Everybody got in and the little boy and the girl also got in, but the little boy forgot to wear his shoes. He left his shoes outside and they pushed him into the wagon. So without shoes he came. His sister, a 12-year-old girl, saw her kid brother coming without shoes and she got mad with him. She held him by the ear, boxed his ears, scolded him nicely, slapped him. I said, you idiot, already we are in enough trouble, now you come without shoes. Because in Germany in winter, no shoes means you may lose your feet. So she's angry about that. In the next station, the boys and girls were separated. After 4 years, after the war was over, she came out of the concentration camp to find 17 members of her family, including her little brother, all had vanished. No records, no sign of them, they just evaporated. At that time, the only thing that bothered her was the last few things that she said to her little brother. She loves her brother, but the last few things that she said to him were such terrible things, it rang in her mind and troubled her. These are the last things I told my brother, and after that I'm never going to see him, he's gone. So she took a vow, if I speak to anybody in my life, I will speak in such a way, if this is my last word, I will not regret. This one thing transformed her life in such a way. She went on to United States, she died in 2006, she did some phenomenal work, built a hospital somewhere near Chicago, I think. She lived a fruitful life. I'm saying, even if you're put through the most horrible situations, either you can come out using that experience as a better human being, or you can use the experience to become a horrible mess. So whenever something hurts you, there are two options. You can either become wounded or you can become wise. This is the choice. The more things hurt you early on in your life, the wiser you should have become, isn't it? But unfortunately, most people become wounded. This is simply because they just need an excuse to turn their own intelligence against themselves, that's all. Especially if the world around you turns against you, is it not very, very important that your intelligence stands up for you?